Djetkare Isesi, known in Greek as Tankeres, died around 2375 BC, was a king, the 8th and penultimate ruler of the 5th dynasty in the late 25th century to mid-24th century BC during the Old Kingdom. Djetkare succeeded Menkaure and was in turn succeeded by Unas. His relationship to both of these kings remained uncertain, although it is often conjectured that Unas was Djetkare's son, owing to the smooth transition between the two. Djetkare was ruling around 39 years, some sources say even longer, from 2414 to 2375 BC, and Djetkare likely enjoyed a reign of more even than 40 years, which heralded a new period in the history of the Old Kingdom. Breaking with the tradition followed by his predecessors since the time of Usarkaf, Djetkare did not build a temple to the sun god Ra, possibly reflecting the rise of Osiris in the Egyptian pantheon. More significantly, Djetkare effected comprehensive reforms of the Egyptian state administration, the first undertaken since the inception of the system of ranking titles. He also reorganized the funerary cults of his forebears buried in the necropolis of Abu Sir and reformed their corresponding priesthood. Djetkare commissioned expeditions to the Sinai Peninsula to procure copper and turquoise, to Nubia for its gold and diorite, and to the fabled land of Punt for its incense. One such expedition had what could be the earliest recorded instance of oracular divination undertaken to ensure an expedition's success. The word Nub, meaning gold, to designate Nubia, is the first recorded during Djetkare's reign. Under his rule, Egypt also entertained continuing trade relations with the Levantine coast and made punitive raids in Canaan. In particular, one of the earliest depictions of a battle or siege scene was found in the tomb of one of Djetkare's subjects. Djetkare is believed to have been buried in a pyramid in Saqqara named Nefer Djetkare, or Djetkare is Perfect, which is now ruined owing to the theft of stone from its outer casing during antiquity. When excavated in the 1940s, the burial chamber contained mummified skeletal remains thought to belong to Djetkare. Examinations of the mummy revealed the individual died in his 50s. A clue to the identity of the remains came from skeletal and blood type comparisons with those of two females thought to be Djetkare's daughters buried in the nearby southern cemetery as Abu Sir. Radiocarbon dating carried out on the effects of the three individuals revealed a common range of 2886 to 2507 BC, some 160 to 390 years older than the accepted chronology of the 5th dynasty. After his death, Djetkare was the object of a cult that lasted at least until the end of the Old Kingdom. He seemed to have been held in particularly high esteem during the mid-6th dynasty, whose kings lavished rich offerings on his cult. Archaeological evidence suggests that the continuing existence of this funerary cult throughout the much later New Kingdom, from 1550 to 1077 BC, Djetkare was also remembered by the ancient Egyptians as the king of Vizier Ptahhotep, the purported author of the maxims of Ptahhotep, one of the earliest pieces of philosophic wisdom literature. The reforms implemented by Djetkare are generally assessed negatively in modern Egyptology, as his policy of decentralization created a virtual feudal system that transferred much power to the high and provincial administrations. Some Egyptologists, such as Naguib Kanawati, argue that this contributed heavily to the collapse of the Egyptian state during the first intermediate period, circa 200 years later. These conclusions are rejected by Nigel Strudwick, who says that in spite of Djetkare's reforms, ancient Egyptian officials never amassed enough power to rival that of the king.